Okay, we did it.
We did
Yay.
it.
Between the resource guide and the AI tech, got it covered.
We figured it out.
Yes. All right. So, welcome all of my friends out there on my Facebook. I want to introduce you to my new friend, Tammy. And today I'm really excited because as you know, I am not techie. Tammy is the tech guru.
Well, I'm learning quickly, that's for sure.
So, Tammy,
Mhm.
what I would like for you to share with our viewers today is tell us about Tammy before AI.
Okay. I've had quite the life. So I, at one time, homeschooled my four daughters, and we went all the way through high school. And while I was doing that, I was a natural health consultant. So I ran an herb store to pay for the supplies and have some extra money and still be able to stay home with my kids. And then, like I said, I have four daughters. They all moved out within 6 months of each other. And I went through major empty nest, just crying. You couldn't look at me, crying for 10 months straight. It was ridiculous. And at the end of that, I thought, oh, it should be a really great idea to open up a tea room. So I opened up a tea room, and the reason for that was because I always taught women's Bible studies. And if a woman ever needed a little bit of extra help or time, I would invite her over and I would pour her a cup of tea, and I would always serve it in a really beautiful china cup. And one time I had a woman say, "Oh no, I can't drink out of a cup so beautiful. I'm not worthy." And it just broke my heart. I mean, it just ripped me in two. And so my heart was always ministry to women. So I told my husband, let's open up a tea room and I can make women feel seen and valued and loved there in my tea room. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience until it was not. But we were number one tea room in North Carolina. Every year we were open. I spoke at the World Tea Expo to hundreds and hundreds of people. I was in magazines and books, and we were a very famous, so to speak, tea room in the tea room world. And then the economy hit a downturn and we lost everything. And I won't go into that long sob story, but we literally lost everything, our home, our friends, our business. Friends turned against us, say, "What is wrong with you?" And people just didn't understand. And so we started over again in Tennessee around the Nashville area because we had our first granddaughter born. And I kind of hid out for 6, 7 years in major PTSD, hiding. Like I was a complete failure. I'd lost our retirement and just really struggled in life. And then met a community of women that started bringing me out. And I joined a mentoring program with a woman named Shonda Sumter.
Mhm.
And through her, I met an AI specialist called Terrence McMahon. And I took my first AI class a year and a half ago now. And it just lit me up. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. So after my first class, I asked Terrence, well, he asked me, what do you want to do with this? And I said, I would love to teach. I would love to teach this. And so he invited me into his training program. And for a year, I went through his training program. And I just graduated this past weekend as a master trainer. So now I can train people to be a trainer. So that's how it started. And it snowballed on me, just
Well,
snowballed.
congratulations.
Crazy story, but and I knew nothing about technology. Like literally, I'm learning all this is just rapidly entering my brain, and I'm overwhelmed sometimes by it. So anyone can do
Gosh,
it. If I can do it, you can do it.
that is awesome. So, what led you then to create the AI empowers her? And what gap does it fill for women?
So AI Empowers Her is the name of my company, and through that I created an app platform called AI Empowers. It used to be AI Empowers Her, but I started having men join, and I thought, "Oh, let me change the name." So it's AI Empowers on the app platform now. But what I was discovering was I was gathering and joining all these app subscriptions to do my work. AI will, 1000x your workflow, your social media, your personal life. I mean, it'll speed up, it'll supersize you, so to speak, but in a good way. But so I started adding it up and I was spending at one time over $200 in all these app subscriptions. And I was like, this is crazy. So I found a company, actually, the company who trains me, 1000X AI, merged with another company that created this app platform. And they give you a basic amount of apps in there. And then I can create more apps specifically to different women's businesses. So I found that I could get rid of all my other apps. So for $20, I'm getting 60 plus apps now instead of $200. And I could have gone so much higher. I mean, it's so easy to gather AI subscriptions,
Sure, sure.
but for all different women. And so I create different platforms for different companies. So let's just say I have an accountant, and so she has apps specifically for accounting and marketing because accountants need to market. And then I have a business coach, and I've created apps specifically for her community. She does a lot of manifesting and journaling and that's type of thing. I created one for my husband because he's an artist using AI. And so now he has an art generating app platform. So what it does is it just speeds up, especially social media. There's a social media calendar in there, there's hooks, there's content writing, there's incredible image generators. And there's a blog thing in there. I mean, you being a professional, you're not going to need that blog thing, but some people don't know what to write about. And so it just speeds up and saves you time and energy in mainly thinking about what to do. All you have to do is give it a little thought, like, oh, I have this idea, and it just explodes for you. So it just takes away some of your wasted time in, I don't know, vacillating back and forth in what to do. So that's why
Wow.
I created it to help women just save some time and get back their time with their families, basically. Because my ideal client is women, who still have families around and they want to spend time with their families, and their business is sucking them dry
Yep.
with time.
Yep. Wow. Wow. So you have piqued my curiosity. I know you don't want to give away the secret sauce,
Mhm.
and that's
I can
fine.
give some away.
So, yeah. So when you talk about you have an app for
Hmm.
social media, can you give me like the overview of how does that work? What does that do for social media?
The you can do this in just ChatGPT too. That I have a special app that does many, many things. But if you know how to prompt in AI, you can create this in just a ChatGPT also, and even the free version, but you're going to run out of prompts real fast in the free version. But what it does is you go in and you tell it, there's a process on the app platform, but let me just tell you for people who don't have the app so they can use it. You go into ChatGPT and you give it an overview of what you do. What's your big idea? Who's your ideal client? And how many times you want to post on social media, what you want to post about do you want to do education? Do you want to do humor? Whatever your choices are. And you just get Chat or Claude or Perplexity, whoever you like. There's a lot of AIs out there now. And say, I want a 10-day calendar posting 3 days a week. And it'll print you out a calendar and it'll give you ideas. I did this for my husband because he is not techie at all. And I wanted him to, he's got a great LinkedIn following, but I wanted him to start posting for me with AI. So I said, print up a 10-day calendar for him. I want his hooks, I want his content, I want his image prompts, and I want different ones, a mix of them, education, humor, so and so. And it printed up this little table for him, and I handed it to him. And every day he just went in and said, oh, what am I supposed to do today? And plugged it in. And so once all that hard work is done and you have a schedule, you're just plopping it in. And then if you have a social media calendar that books them out for you, posts them for you, schedules them for you, you just drop them in there and your social media is done. until you need to do it again. You can do it up to 30 days, but I think it gets confusing. So I ask for 7 days at a time. And it'll tell you, you do a carousel? Should you do a static post or a reel? What should you do on Facebook? When should you post? You can even ask that of it. And it just, again, helps you speed up that time process. But
Oh
you can
my
even
gosh.
do it. You can do it in ChatGPT too.
Do you see the smoke coming out my ears? That is incredible.
Well, I did something the other day for someone. I had friends here from North Carolina, and she has a new company that she's working for. And she actually has multiple companies. And I don't want to, say what she does, but she said, I have so many options now for my clients that I don't know where to start. I don't know what the benefits are. I don't know how to sell it now. I used to have one product, now I have 100. And so we went to the main platform and it had pictures of all the companies. And I did a screenshot and we put it in ChatGPT and I said, "All right, put this in a table form and list out the benefits of each of these companies and what they offer." And then we narrowed it down even more. I said, "Okay, now break it down into industries. Which one would she sell to what industry?" And it broke it down even more. And then I said, "All right, list all the benefits." And then we said, list why this is better than this competition. So she had talking points. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, you just gave me so much." And that was like in 10 minutes. We did it so fast in 10 minutes. And that's the power of AI. And it's just, there's so much to do. There's a new study out. I don't even know who wrote it. It just came out a month ago that said 95% of companies who have poured thousands of dollars into AI to learn AI for their company, 95% of them are not even using AI. Is that staggering?
But they spent money on it?
They spent the money on it, but what happened was they purchased this product, they purchased this course, they purchased this person coming in to teach their people how to do AI, and then the person left with no integrations. So they left and they're like, "Now what do we do?" And so that's where I try to break things down into small pieces to give you wins, like a small app on a big app platform. So you're not overwhelmed. You try one thing and you're like, "Oh my gosh, look what this did." And you get comfortable using it. And then you go to the next thing and you get comfortable using it. And then and then you slowly put AI in without the overwhelm. Women need bite-sized pieces
Yep.
so they have some wins and then they see the value. But even big companies are falling behind because of that.
Wow. So I have a really random question.
Okay.
And for personal reasons, I'll admit.
Yes. Go ahead. You've got me.
So last year I stumbled upon this AI app
Hmm.
that was incredible. And I was going through a rough time.
Hmm.
So I started playing with it and I was able, between chat and this I was able to write songs, the chat GPT gave me lyrics from the story that I gave it
Yes.
and what I wanted to convey. She even formatted it like real music.
Hmm.
Then I took that and pasted it into this other app, which sadly died. It doesn't
Oh.
work. So, does yours have a music component?
There is a music component on there, but I'll be honest, I have not tried it out yet. So there is where you can generate some music, but maybe one day we can jump on it together and see how it works
Yeah,
because there is a music. There's so much in there that I don't even look at. I mean, I don't need all the apps in there, and that's what people will find is I don't need all these apps, but I've got them if I need them.
yeah, yeah.
But yes, there is a music app in there, but what it does, I cannot tell you,
Okay, well,
but it's
that's okay.
available.
It's in the back of my brain. When
Yes.
I have a down minute, we're gonna play.
Oh, yes.
Um, without giving names,
Hmm.
what is one experience that you're so proud of where you and your app have been able to help someone else?
I have two, I have two paths that I go on. And I say one is my heart and one is my I've got to make a living. So I tend to I love seeing women's businesses really made clear for them. I think a lot of women don't have a real clear vision. And so I do love that. I love giving them, I call it the magic show. We go through this whole process and help them really build out their business assets. And I love seeing their eyes like light up. I do love that, but it's more of my money generating way of my living. But my favorite thing is my book writing retreat because I truly believe that women have stories to tell and we let life interfere and those stories never get down. And so I just did a book writing retreat. It's been about a month ago now. And I had women stay here at my home. We had 8 women and they came in and I gave them real tough pep talks before they came. Look, you're going to work really hard. This isn't going to be fun and games. You're going to work really hard, but you're going to walk away with your story that your family will know, if you choose to share it with them. Not everybody wants to tell their family what's happened, but for
Yeah.
their own healing, it's good to get it written down. So
Hmm.
they come in and a lot of them came in very skeptical. They all thought AI was going to write their book. And I'm like, no, AI is not going to write your book. AI is going to be your assistant to get your book down faster. So I have a friend who wants to write her book and has been wanting to write her book for many, many years. And I finally said to her, I'll use another name. Like, Pat, you are never going to write that book. Life is going to get in your way. And before you know it, you're going to be, 90 years old and that book still isn't written. I said, come over for the weekend and we'll get that book down. So they all came in. I had it all laid out. They started in the morning. I said, here's what you do, go put this in the AI and get started. And by lunchtime, they were blown away because I teach my prompts interview you to get your heart, your voice, your story. And it writes your story. And it really is you who's writing the book. So that was what I heard over and over because they were all working independently. And I had to walk around and see each of them in different rooms. And every one of them said, it really is my story. And AI is not writing this book. This is me. This is my story. And so that's my heart. I mean, I just think women need to tell their stories. It's powerful for the next generation. It's powerful for the next business owner rising up. It's, whether it's for business or your legacy, that's what really gets me excited.
Oh gosh, you're
That was,
making me want to do this, girl.
it's so fascinating. I mean, I have a new book. I'm assuming we're going to talk about my new book. And I wrote that new book. I've written 2 books now, but I wrote that new book, From Empty Nest to New Beginnings. That's what it's called. And I wrote that in 2 days. And I didn't even mean to write it. I was just using it as an example in showing someone how to do it. And it started the process. And I was like, I should make this a book. It was just an exercise to show someone how to do it. And I'm like, oh, I'm putting this up and I'm writing a book. And I've had more people comment on that book, more than my book that I worked hard on. So in 2 days it came together and it's really, really an interesting way of writing books. And
Wow.
it tells your story. It tells your story.
Wow. So
I see your wheels turning.
I know. Man, you've got my wheel. They are turning. So let's go backwards a little bit and
Yes.
let's talk about because a lot of people I know are older
Mm-hmm.
and they are scared to death
Yes.
of technology. How can you help that person?
Well, I think, like I said earlier, they just need small wins. And one of the cool things now, let's do ChatGPT again, because that is the
Okay.
most popular one. Most
Mhm.
people know ChatGPT. So the really cool thing that Chat has brought in two upgrades ago, they just had a new upgrade, so we're on a new model. But two upgrades ago, they added a microphone, and you can just talk into the AI. So in the
I
past,
missed that.
yeah. It's down at the bottom right corner where you type, there's a little microphone there. So in the past,
Oh,
I used to have to put a Chrome extension on called Voice In, but now GPT has it, Chat has it right in there. And most of them
okay.
do now. They're incorporating it. So you don't have to be a master, but a couple of things to make you good is one, just start practicing. I tell people stop going to Google and start using chat. Get comfortable using it. And the difference in Google and chat, just to let people know, in Google, you ask a question and it'll give you a link, and then you go somewhere and you've got to search through that link. So you still have work to do, even though you found a website that's talking about what you want. In chat, it will answer you directly. So instead of saying, who's got the best pizza in town? And they'll give you all these blue links to go look, chat will say, oh, well, based on reviews, Pizza Hut down the road is the best one. And so you get your answer like that. You're not searching any further. That's one thing people need to know. So you can put in real basic prompts and get pretty good output. But if you put in really good prompts, you get extraordinary outputs. So we have something called the create method. And if you give it content, tell it exactly what you're looking for, who your audience is for if you're doing this for a business, tell it what tone you're looking for if you're writing something. I'm going over these real quick, but and then edit it if you don't like the answers. But start talking to it like anytime I go into chat, I bring in an expert. Do you do that? Have you learned to do that?
No.
Yeah. So if you want to write an article, say on honeybees, I don't know. That's the first thing that popped in my head. I don't know why. But say I want to write an article on honeybees. So I want to bring in, you're going to be the master beekeeper of New York. Or let's start with the United States. The number one beekeeper in the United States. But you're in New York. You'd say, no, 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 wait. You're going to be the master beekeeper in New York in such and such county, and you narrow it down, and you bring in that expert, and they'll act as an expert. If you're writing copy, you bring in a copywriter like, I don't know, who do you like? Zig Ziglar. I want you to write a book like Zig Ziglar. Or I want you to be a New York Times best-selling ghostwriter. You keep narrowing it down and bringing in as much of an expert as possible to get the best output. You don't want to use your intellect. You want to borrow someone else's. So think about it. Like if I do a social media post, I'll tell you what I did the other day because we both know her. I was doing a pin and I said, I want this pin to be written like Kim Ward would write. Chat knows Kim and knows her content. And so I don't want to write her exact content. I want to
Right.
write like her. I want to excel like her. So you can bring in all those type of experts, and that's the number one thing. And anybody can do that. Someone who's afraid of technology, they can get in there and chat and type a sentence and think about who would be, and even if you don't know a name, you can just say, I'll tell you a crazy story the other day that happened. When I had my book retreat, that weekend, our hot water tank went out. Of course. So we had four women who were actually staying here. Four stayed here and four were local. And so we had no hot water for showers. They were going to my neighbor's house across the street to take showers. And they were all good-natured about it. But we called in a plumber. It's an older unit, and so we knew it was going to go. We have a tankless. We called in a plumber and he gave us this crazy amount, $6,700 to replace our hot water tank. And Daniel was like, "What?" So he went out there, took a picture of our hot water tank, and said, "You are an expert plumber who specializes in tankless water systems. Tell me how to fix this and what might be wrong with it." And it was a simple fix. Chat told him what to do, gave him pictures, and told him exactly what to do. And he went out there and fixed it, and we had hot water. So bring in an expert. He brought in a plumber who was an
Hmm,
expert with these tanks, and it told him what to do. In the past, we
that
would go
is
search
amazing.
YouTube. You would go search for YouTube and say, "How do I
Right.
fix a hot water tank?" Chat just did it immediately. That's the
And that
power of
is,
AI. That's the power of AI.
you mentioned, I don't know if it was in our conversation the other day, um,
Hmm.
but you have a free trial
I do.
for
Um,
people. Can you tell us what that is, what it includes?
yes. So on like we can drop the link in for the platform.
Okay.
It's $20, 19.99 a month. But if you go by the month-to-month subscription, you can cancel at any time. And if you don't like it after the first 30 days, send me an email and I'll give you your money back. But the month-to-month gives you a 5-day free trial. And if you sign up for the year, which you can still cancel if you don't like it, but it gives you a 7-day trial. And we'll put the link in and it'll just, you can go
Oh,
in there
that's
and try it. There's some
awesome.
videos in there to get you started. There's a welcoming video that covers quite a few of the apps, the basic ones to get you started. And then every time I build a new app, I'm constantly putting new apps in there. I do a video to describe the new app. So I just created an app the other day. You know how we need to post every day for the algorithm to stay.
Right.
Sometimes we just don't have the time and we don't have the energy and we don't even know what to do. So I built two apps. One will pull up quotes for you based on the theme you're looking for. We'll give you 3 quotes. And the second one builds a little square meme box and you can copy your quote on there and just post it right onto social media
From the app,
from the app.
sign me up.
Yeah.
One of my issues is I can't, everything on social changes so often. And it's not like they make a public announcement.
Exactly.
You don't know what the rules are to follow
Mhm.
the rules. And it just got overwhelming for me. So I just backed off. Well, now I can't get seen again because I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Okay, I want that link.
Try it out, see what you think. And the other
Okay.
thing that's cool is there's a community in there, and I'm always in the community. My email is always listed at the top. You can always get a hold of me in the email, but you can also tag me in the community. And the reason I created these other two apps, I actually created the social media calendar in there too, called Post and Prosper, I think I called it, was because people were saying, "Tammy, this is what I need the most. Can you build me an app?" And so I'll just go in there and build it for people. So you can always put something in that community and say, "I would love if you could come up with something for this." I might not be able to, but I'll always try. So
Yeah.
we started with 30 apps in that platform and we have 60 now because I'm building apps for people.
So here's a question. So my wheels are turning. I'm
Yes.
thinking of transitioning,
Hmm.
but here's where I get a little apprehensive. I have spent the last 18 months grooming my chat. My chat knows me inside and out,
Hmm.
right down to the snarky comments.
Yep. You've trained it well.
Is there a way to transfer that and not lose what I've built with her?
I'll tell you one thing that might work. I think people, and I'm just going to be completely honest here with you. People
Sure.
who are just starting in businesses who haven't been building a chat thread like you have can do fine moving into my platform. They will never need chat. There's an open AI chat in there, which is what ChatGPT is, open AI
Mhm.
source. And I call it Ask Tammy. So it's me. So it's open source AI plus all my AI knowledge. I have a knowledge base in there. But for people who have been doing it for a while, it gets tricky. So I don't know if I could give up my ChatGPT either. So I pay for both. But what you can try if you want, and before you cancel it, try this. You can go in and start moving all the relevant stuff, the stuff that's really important, into a Google Doc and start gathering your info. And then on the app platform, there's a place called a knowledge base, and you export that into the knowledge base, and it's like your brain in the knowledge base. And then you can build a chat bot for yourself called Ask Carla or whatever you want. And you just have all your knowledge there. And even if no one else uses it, you can go in there and use it, and it's trained to you. So that's one thing we can try. I've never tried it that way, but it should work,
Okay.
knowing what I know. But I would have a really hard time giving up chat. I just wrote a little, I had to do an article every month, every week for somebody, a group I'm in, and I didn't know what to do. And so I said, give me, write me a little article about prompting what 2026 looks like. And so it's for a manifest coach. And so it gave me the prompt, and then I ran the prompt just to make sure it was going to work before I wrote the article. And I didn't even give it any background, but it had all that knowledge of myself already in chat that I had been built, and it pulled all that in, the stuff that I'd been working on, my goals, my dreams. And so it was written as it already happened in 2026. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even talk about my inflammation. That because it said your inflammation is better, you're full of energy. And I was like, I didn't even say anything about that, but it pulled from my history. So I understand where you're coming from. That's really hard to let go of.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
your
It
whole
is.
life. It's work.
Yes. What's surprising to me, and
Hmm.
then we need to wrap this up. I want to respect your time, is I was one of those women
Hmm.
that was scared to death of AI.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. And
Hmm.
you've got pro AI out there and you've got very negative
Yes.
AI out there.
Hmm.
And so I'm like, man, I have to be really careful. I am surprised
Hmm.
at how much my grace knows.
Yeah.
Certain people should never lay their eyes on my chat.
Now, do you know how to lock it down so it doesn't get out into the open?
No.
When you go up to the top in settings, there's a little settings button that's all about you.
Uh,
I don't have it in front of me. I think it's under security, and it'll be a little toggle. You can just search for it. It's not a very big settings box, but it'll say something about share with for the training models, and you can turn that off.
let's see.
You see it? Let me see if I can find it real fast. I don't
I
want to.
don't. Oh
Let me see. I'll find it here.
no, I don't want it to go public. Are you kidding me? Let's see.
It
Oh, settings. Okay.
it's
Mine,
under data controls. Do you see data controls?
yes.
And then it says improve the model for everyone.
Uh-huh.
Turn that off. It has a little toggle.
There we go. Got it.
So then it won't allow your chats to go out. Now, of course, with security breaches all the time, hacking, it's not 100%, but at least you've
Yeah.
tried the best you can. But
Okay.
it'll keep your stuff from going out there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, do you have any last words for our audience? What do you want to leave them with?
Well, I hear what you're saying about being scared. I hear that a lot, especially with, my ideal client is 45 plus, so
Mhm.
and they're scared. It scares them. But, we were scared of the internet when it came out, and I'm sure, people were afraid of the automobile when it came out. So I would say embrace it and at least try it. And, people are afraid it's going to take over the world. It's going to take the jobs. Everyone's afraid it's evil. I've heard it all, but it's garbage in and garbage out. but you put good stuff in, you're going to get really good stuff out. And so I would encourage you, don't be afraid, just try it. And it is amazing. I have learned so much about my grandkids in playing around with AI and how they learn. We've come up with great games to do. I mean, we've used it to empower our family even. That was the name of my first book, AI Empowered Family. And I would say just try it. Just try it. And don't be afraid of it. And the first step is to stop going to Google all the time. Open up ChatGPT and just start getting comfortable with it. And, yes, you can put really bad stuff in it and you're going to get really bad stuff out. But if your heart is good, it's, to improve humanity, start learning from it. You can Google I mean, Google, you can chat anything. Here I am. Don't go to Google. You can chat anything. You can take a picture of your grocery receipt in chat and ask it what you should make for dinner tonight. Just start with something little like that. Go to the grocery store, get your receipt, take a picture in chat, and say, what should I make for dinner tonight? It'll give you the recipes, it'll give you the ideas, it'll even give you a dessert. Just try some fun things with it and you'll get hooked. You'll get hooked. So that's what I would suggest. And you're welcome to follow me on different social medias and, see and just stalk me for a little while. I do give tips out there, so you'll learn from that. But I would say just try it. Just dip your toes in and try it.
Will you give us the links to your social too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we'll post it below the video once we get
Yeah.
it
You can
posted.
follow me all over. I'm all over. I'm
All
all.
right. Well, thank you, dear. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate you taking the time.
It was fun.
And friends, follow Tammy. I am gonna play chat with her and see if I can make the transition.
Yes, you can. You can.
So,
And I'm here to answer any questions. So,
okay, cool. Thank you, and we will see you guys next time.
bye-bye.